Consciousness, where we talk about sports cards and all kinds of crazy stuff. As always, I'm happy to be joined by my partner up there to Panhandle, Greg Smith. How you doing today, Greg?
Mark, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I'm a little nervous about tomorrow's game, and we'll talk about that a little bit. And it's good to be back on with you. It's only been 2 weeks, but it feels like it's been months. So
Yeah.
I love doing this show with you, and I'm glad that we're back doing it. And let's go. Let's get into cards of the week, man. I'm really happy to be back.
All right. Well, before we get to cards of the week, we just want to acknowledge our Brooks Robinson's passing this week. He was definitely an amazing baseball player, but by all accounts, even better guy. If being that I do TTM autographs and a lot of autograph collecting, he would for the longest time sign for free. And then he I charge like $10 or something like that, maybe $20. And right up until last week, he was still signing things. So just a great ambassador for the game. And I did have the opportunity to meet him way back when at a old timers game. And I was looking around before the show, trying to find, I have a picture of me and Brooks and baseball autographed and some cards and things like that, but I couldn't find that. But I did have a nice interaction with Brooks. So by all accounts, he was a good dude and he'll be missed.
Yeah, and I never got the chance to meet Brooks. I've met some other old timers, but he wasn't one of them. And all accounts I've heard about Brooks as well, like you, just have been just glowing really about what a good guy he was, and whether or not he's the greatest third baseman of all time. I think you can debate that. Defensively, he's right there. Offensively, maybe not so much, but you know by all accounts, just an amazing guy from Little Rock, and just he's 86 years old. So when the news broke the other day that he had passed, I was a little bit shocked. But then I looked into it. I was like, well, his rookie year was 1957. So
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
ways back.
yeah, it's 66 years ago now. So he was 20 when he came up, and a great career and a good ambassador for the game, like you said. So rest in peace, Brooks, and
Yep,
thank you.
RIP Brooks.
Yeah, thanks for doing what you did, sir. So
Absolutely.
we'll get into cards of the week, and I'm interested to see what you've got, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit more here after we get done with cards of the week. But you've got a new passion, so let's let's see
Thankfully.
what you let's
Yeah.
see what you got, man.
Yeah, I'll be real quick. Just some nonsensical things as usual. I seem to be going down the nonsensical route. This guy was like a backup cornerback for the Bills in the 2000s, third round draft pick out of Ohio State, Ashton Yabuti. But it's an Ashton Yabuti auto, so that'll fit into my nonsensical autograph category and having a Buffalo Bills. So this is 192 out of 400, and I'd be shocked if 400 of them still exist. So I may have the only Ashton Yabuti signed autograph rookie card in the history of the world right now.
And
And
when was this? When did he?
Yabuti was early 2000s, 2006. How about that?
Okay,
So Yabuti,
okay.
he was a third round draft pick. I do remember that. And he played with the Bills for 2 or 3 years and then just faded away. But great signature, though. Again, this is kind of when I say all the time when you take the money out of it, that thing pops. That's a great sig. I mean,
That is a nice.
yeah, it's nice.
Oh,
A
that
nice
silver too.
signature.
That's very cool.
Yeah, and so I paid like at 50 cents for it. So nice signature, Buffalo Bill. Even if he's only in the league for a couple of years, the guy was in the NFL. So, and that's just a great signature. So Ashton Yabuti. I got another nonsensical autograph. Anytime you get an NBA player, because those guys just don't sign. This is like 49.51 out of 77.50. This guy was a baller in college with Georgia Tech, and I'm sure most people know who he is. And I got this for 50 cents. Travis Best.
Oh,
Tra-
Travis Best. I was thinking you were going to go down Kenny Anderson road, but Travis Best is
Oh no,
great.
yeah, Travis Best, and that's another. It's kind of hard to see because it's blue on the card, but when you have it in person, that's just a beautiful signature. Guy was an NBAer, played here, there, everywhere. Great college player. So it's 50 cents. Love that. Another one, just real quick, is I got a Rasmus Dahlin, a hockey card. Rarity. Whoa, shock. So I got a Rasmus Dahlin rookie card. He's a defenseman for the Sabres. This is number 1 out of 500. So I got the number 1. So this was
Nice.
like a buck.
That's
So
a
he's
premium though when you get number one.
yeah. So he's a really great player for the Sabres. I think the Sabres are going to make the playoffs this year. They've missed the playoffs 12 years in a row, but they got a pretty kick-ass team right now. So I'm looking forward to that.
Okay.
And so that's hockey. And then this one I got in a box of tonnage. It's Kirby Puckett's last card and 94 tops. I don't want to say that is. So that's that's a banger. And I really
Yeah.
like that. Just different, worth nothing. And then so then my newfound passion, I went crazy the last 2 weeks. We've been gone on Star Wars. So we can talk about that a little bit after Greg's cards of the week, my pivot. I got a new Yoda rookie card. So anytime you get a Yoda rookie card for a couple bucks, there's my man Yoda. And my Yoda rookie card last year was in my classroom, and now Chris Frank has it. I put it in a sal, and he swooped it up because he understands the meaning of it. 'Cause it's a little beat up, and because the kids pick it up and touch it and do whatever they will with my cards in the room. So Chris Frank, you have the Yoda rookie card that's on its way, and he also has the Darth Vader that was in my room, but I replaced that one as well. So
Okay.
I was really excited to get that. And
Now, is that the
and then
Empire
also,
Strikes Back set? Is that the Empire Strikes Back set?
yes, Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
So that's Yoda. And then I picked up a bunch of Mandalorian stuff. Who doesn't like the Mandalorian and Grogu? I mean, look at that cute little bastard. But I mean, come on. I mean, I love it. I love Mandalorian. I got a bunch of Mandalorian stuff. So I really like that show. And Pedro Pascal is amazing in it. And our little friend, Baby Yoda, everybody calls that's Grogu, but Baby
Yeah.
Yoda.
Now, is that Yoda's kid or what? Who is
I
Grogu?
really don't know what the deal is. He's just who knows. I can't really figure out what Grogu's deal is, but he's a creature. So those
Yeah.
are my cards of the last few weeks. Nothing
Well,
major, but a lot of fun.
those are cool. Those are cool. And a couple of comments on those. The autos that you get, blow my mind because you definitely have a theme to your madness with the autos. It's great, and you probably have hundreds and hundreds of them.
I do.
I just think it's cool that you get them, and it doesn't really matter to you who the player is.
Nope.
If it's somebody that you root for, or just like Travis Best, I'm sure you don't have a rooting interest in Travis Best, but you're right, he was great in college, and so I just think that's cool. And you've sent me some of those over the last year or so, and I've got them in a box, and I look at them from time to time, and they're growing on me. The autos are growing on me, so I have you to thank for that. Now,
That's the ball for you. I mean, I got that Daryl Evans if I'm hanging on to for you.
Oh yeah, Daryl Evans, and I've got I won a Donruss Eric Davis the other day in an auction that I saw that you had bid on and had kind of probably forgotten.
I was
about.
buying that for you.
Oh, well, I bought that for you, man. So that's your Eric Davis.
That's awesome.
So
I love it.
We'll work that out. We'll work that out.
Yeah, we'll work the Evans and Davis. That's freaking wild, man. That's so funny.
I saw your bid at 12.
I'm out on this because then you bought it for that's great. I love that card.
Yeah, it's a very cool card. I got it for $14. So I mean, it wasn't
perfect.
It wasn't. Yeah. So
yeah, it's a good deal.
Kirby Puckett. I had some thoughts on that, and from what I understand, he woke up one day in spring training and just couldn't see, and it's really, all the stories of him or whatever alleged stuff that he did after he retired, notwithstanding, it was really a shame the way his career ended. And for that, really, you just kind of hit me with that's his last card. 1994 was his last card, and his rookie was 85. So he really had a short career.
Yeah, 10 years.
Then, 10 years. And he still made the Hall of Fame. It shows you how good he was. And then the Mandalorian cards, I've got Disney Plus, and I've never watched The Mandalorian. And I think enough people have told me now how good it is that
you'll love it.
Yeah. Because I like the original Star Wars. I just, like we've talked about, they lost me in 99 and 2000 with those.
Those movies suck. They're terrible. Yeah, we've mentioned it on the show. The only one that's good is the third one of those where just, Vader gets carved up, man. Obi-Wan takes him down. Obi-Wan just carves him up, man. Quarters that dude. So it just shows how Vader came to be.
Yeah.
But Obi-Wan Obi-Wan takes takes care of Vader and Anakin Skywalker, and then he becomes
Right.
Vader, blah blah blah. So that trilogy, the last one is good, but Ewan McGregor is Obi-Wan, and it kicks ass.
Okay.
So what you
Okay.
got cards, brother?
All right. So this week, the I've taken to calling myself the Yasmanian Devil, thanks to Richard.
You are.
But I've been kind of in hibernation. Yeah, I've been kind of in hibernation the last couple of weeks. I did get a couple in that I had bought. This one here is a 1968. Yaz smashes 2 homers in the 68 and 67 World Series, which they ultimately lost, but everybody knows about Yaz, knows about his 67 season. So I had never seen that in any slab before, much less an SGC, and I saw it and had to pounce. So that's
it's an 8, man. I mean, that's
yeah.
amazing.
It's a blazer.
That's interrupt you, but they say it's collector grades. So if we're just looking for a PC, if you can match the number to the year, you're killing it. So like that's a 60s and it's an 8. So if you're looking PC, they say like you look at like a 6. So you got an 8, and that's awesome. For a 60s card.
Yeah, and it wasn't very expensive either, so I was pretty happy with that. And then Marty had sent me one of these. Marty Klotz had sent me one of these raw, and I saw this. The bazooka, it's a 2004 bazooka. This one was really cheap. It's an 8.5, and it's like a game. The case is kind of raised up because the card's so big. So I noticed that on the back. Yeah. So SGC, I'll tell you what, maybe we can talk about that a little bit because they really have upped their game. And yeah, we'll get into that in a little bit. Let me go. So those two are the two that I've added to my PC for Yaz. I'm up to like 31 now, I think. So, but I haven't really been looking, and I've got a bid in on a cloth sticker, and I shouldn't tell anybody that because they're going to go looking. So anyway, never mind.
It's all right. I'll bust them up for you. Steer clear, people.
These three,
you got
I was
that?
able to pick up. Yeah, I got a whole bunch of them. I got like 15 of them. So I got the blue one.
Did you get the yellow?
This is a 1989. Well, I'm getting there. A 1989 Pacific trading cards. Yeah, no, that's okay. It's a 1989, so it's a rookie card. You don't really see these a whole lot. I got the blue, the white, and the yellow. So you've got 3 different versions of that card. You don't really see them a whole lot, and I was able to pick up like 15 of them. So I sold two sets of those in my sale last week, and I got some more coming today. So I'm going to keep those 3 for me.
Yeah, thanks for that.
It's very cool. Yeah, absolutely. It's a very cool set, and I had never seen those before about a year ago, and I see them from time to time, and I just grab them whenever I can because they're usually not super expensive. They're more expensive than his Fleer and his Donruss, but also 10 times more scarce. So
definitely.
Yeah, that's.
You remember that graded one that I sold? That DCCG 10.
Yeah.
That thing, I was like, I almost got like $100 for that. That was crazy. The yellow one.
Yeah.
So, but I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
That went nuts.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just say that was
it did.
It ended up selling for like $100, and I was like stunned. I remember me and you were just watching it, and we're like, "Oh, okay, we're here." And I'm like, "Yeah, $40-$50. Wow, this is great! Holy cow!" And then it just kept going and going and going and going. Those were in candy bars, right? I think.
Yeah, they were. I think they were only released in the Northwest. Pacific Trading Cards. They're in. I think. Well, Seattle. Pacific, but they're in Seattle, I believe, and they only issued them in the candy bars. Just a cool card, and anytime I see that card, I get it. Yeah, it's very cool. So those are my cards of the week. Awesome. I've been kind of quiet with my Yaz pursuit, and always buying and selling the bulk stuff, but that doesn't really get me. Those aren't cards of the week. That's just back and forth. But I really want to talk more about what you've been doing and what you've been up to and your pursuits and your tonnage and all that. So you've got some cool stuff coming, and I want to hear about it.
All right, yeah. So it's crazy because It's hard for me because being specific, like as a Bills fan, and to get that enjoyment out of like sports is hard as a collector. So I've been kind of limited to Hank Aaron, Larry Doby, Luke Easter, Andre Dawson, Buffalo Bills, and my crazy autographs. So when you kind of exhaust that and you look at the same things over and over again, and you get kind of bored with it. So I mean, essentially, a month or so ago, I was talking to Greg, and and I'm like, just really kind of bored with all this. But I've always liked Star Wars, and I love Star Wars, and I have memorabilia and stuff. I love the movies, and love all the shows and stuff like that. So, I started getting into Star Wars and getting all the different cards, and it's been really fun. And it's also a lot cheaper too than trying to buy baseball cards. And I think the mindset and the people around like Star Wars comics, things like that's a little different than the sports cards. We're not quibbling over 25 cents, 50 cents. And it's been more fun. And again, when you take the money out of things, I enjoy it a lot more. And I say that a lot on the show, but you gotta understand people that like the world that I'm in, and what I see and deal with every day. And I can sit at my desk and I look at my room, I look at my kids, and I love my kids dearly. I do. I really just, it's amazing the bond that we have, and it's really remarkable. And it's noticeable when people comment on it. And I look at them and I'm like, does Savannah, give a rat's ass about a 1958 Hank Aaron, or does Justice really care about a Ryan rookie card, or would Alicia send me a detailed Excel spreadsheet and from a quarter sale that I had, making sure that every single card is accounted for, and things like that. So
Yeah.
I really kind of lost my zest for that end of the hobby, if that makes sense, just because of what I do. And
Sure.
and I still want to do it. And I'm looking at all my cards. I'm like, this is stupid. I mean, here we are doing a show about cards. I'm sitting here telling you, I'm looking at my cards. I'm like, this is dumb. This is really stupid. And it's not, but that's how I was feeling that day. And I'm like, it's cardboard. And I'd had a tough time with a lot of different people in sales, and it wasn't a lot of fun. And I'm like, man, this is really dumb. And but I enjoy doing it. I like the interaction. I love the show. I like most of the people, and I like that interaction. So how do I keep it going? So I've kind of stepped back. People will notice on our page and with the show, last month or so, I've kind of stepped back. But I just found this fun searching out 50-cent autographs, and
Yeah.
50-cent Mandalorian cards, and the dollar Yoda rookie cards, and
Right.
so the money's out of it, and I enjoy it. And I've hit a massive score last night with some 1977 Star Wars cards. That's just the first issue, the first series. My special spot that I will not name. I got like 83 cards that coming out of there from 77, and they look great, and I'm just really excited to get them. But then I'm still pursuing my tonnage as well. So I've kind of gone out of the mid high end. My PC, I pretty much have what I want.
Yeah.
There's really nothing else I'm going to add to it, and I'm just going to try to maybe do a few sales with some comics. I also have a big lot. I got 5 or 6 pounds of comic cards from the late 80s, early 90s coming. I don't have any idea what's in there, other than I saw a few like Batmans and Supermans. I don't really know a lot about that stuff, but I know it's fun, and
Yeah.
we have a good time with it. So yeah, so I kind of been pursuing that. And obviously if I see like a Luke Easter, something like that, I'm gonna get it. And I was talking with you that hopefully, there's still a few of those things I want to get, the
Yeah.
apple top of the tree, and that would be the Laughlin Black Stars set. And those are so expensive. And
Yeah.
also too, that kind of fits in my passion again, where I work. Greg's been there 99% black and brown. I'm one of 4 white people there, and I love it.
Yeah.
It's great. And so that kind of fits in, and I could share that with my kids. And hey, look guys, look what I got. I got whoever, double duty Ted Radcliffe today, or this one or that one. And we can kind of learn about history through baseball, and it's something that they can relate to. So I hope my little rant here makes sense, but I've kind of veered into where I can relate. And then I can just show this real quick. This is amazing. This is gonna look great in my room. I mean, it's probably bouncing light off it, but I got this for $1, $1, and it's just like
Wow.
I get emotional talking about this
Is that
stuff.
Luke Easter?
That's Satchel Paige, baby.
Is that?
I got this is going in my room,
Oh,
right?
wow.
And I got that
Okay.
for $1. And are
Where
you
did you
kidding?
get that?
Ohio,
Did you get it?
in Ohio.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, we're not gonna
Okay.
say where, but
That's
not am I
awesome.
saying Ohio, but
Yeah.
I got this out of Ohio for $1, and that's going in my room. So my
That,
kids, they can. That's Satchel Paige, baby. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And they're gonna
Yeah.
be like, we can talk about Satchel Paige, and it's relatable. So I guess it's the things that we do and the things we're interested in. We try to, if we can keep it within our grasp, our frame, the 3 feet circle around us. I think we're gonna have more fun with it. And
Yeah.
so I'm having fun with Star Wars, and all the kids, they all dig Star Wars, and I'm having fun with the comic cards and just the African American history, the who we are, where we've been, where we came from, the Negro Leagues. And I was really into the Negro Leagues before I started working where I am, and now, when a kid doesn't know who Jackie Robinson is, it's my job to teach them about Jackie Robinson, because then we start talking about Martin Luther King, and we talk about Malcolm X, and we talk about this, and we talk about that. And it's a gateway. It's a gateway to today, and we can talk about things, and it's somebody that looks like them. It's easy for
Yeah.
Mr. Ford to sit there and pontificate, and you run in my room and you see how we roll, and it's a wonderful, beautiful. It's amazing. It's indescribable. Every morning I walk in my room and I'm like, this is the greatest place ever. My room. Now, what I
Yeah.
do isn't always the best, and that school isn't always the best, but my room is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I
Your
love
room's
my
pretty
room.
cool,
It's
especially
just
since
like,
they
yeah.
picked PhD.
I mean, you
Yeah.
walk in and you're like, and it's a place where other
Yeah.
people, the other teachers love coming to my room. I'll come in and somebody will be sitting at my desk going, hey, I'm just hanging out. I love the vibe in your room, so,
Yeah.
that's good. The other parts can be a little tough, but so, it's amazing that I've made that change in myself. It's just been a real blessing. I went from being, I'll sit and think last year at this time, I was running a tournament director at Eagle Creek Country Club in Orlando. And then I went to Liberty High School, ended up the athletic director there briefly, crashed and burned. And now a year later, I'm where I am. And it's just been an amazing roller coaster. So,
Yeah.
and now here we are. And
Well,
we're
well,
hanging in, Greg. I want you to know we're down to about 16.7% of the total, but we've been doing state testing. But I'm telling you, we're going to get back to 20% here, and we're still in the lead, but it's tight, man.
yeah. Well, the other teachers have taken your lead and are inspired, maybe, hopefully.
They are. They're doing great. Yeah.
Commenting on what you're saying, Mark, I think I've been in your room, like you said, and I plan on coming again. So I hope you're ready.
Anytime. Open invitation.
Yeah, Orlando's my second home for a little while. I could tell that you were checked out, and you've used that phrase a few times, checked out. Absolutely. So I think that you being able to find another outlet, because I know that you like to collect and to participate in the hobby. But like what you said, when you're limited on what you're really, really interested in, it can get old quick. And dealing with some of the things that you've dealt with in your sales, you had a good sale last week, which
I had fun.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good time, and you had some good stuff, and a lot of it sold. But I'm glad to see that you have found that other outlet for you to be able to keep engaged and come full circle back around at some point, probably. But the tonnage that you're getting in the comic and the Star Wars cards. Now the 77s that you got are the blue ones or the yellow ones the good ones?
The blue ones.
Or the green ones? The blue ones are the good
ones. There's a blue, yellow, green, red. So there's 4, but the blues were series 1.
Okay.
So I think, again, I'm not an expert on it. I mean, I can tell you all you want about the movies. I think there's 66 cards in the first series, and those generally go, again, the money doesn't matter, but they could run anywhere from 100 to 150 bucks for that set.
Okay.
So that gives you an idea. And then I think everybody knows the goldenrod, the C-3PO.
Yeah.
That's the green one. I think that's towards the end.
Yeah, it's the green.
Yeah, I don't know what. I think it went blue, yellow, red, green, something like that. I'm not sure what the sequential order was.
Sure.
But So the blue, yellow, red, green are all from the 77 Star Wars. And they kept issuing them because I don't think they realized that the movie was going to be do what it did and have that life.
Yeah. I can remember being a little kid and that movie was at the theater forever. Like
Ever, yeah.
literally a year. It was at the theater because it was making so much money. And
Right.
Star Wars kind of transcends generations, like you said, with your kids.
Oh, they love
In
it.
class. Yeah, I mean, they keep releasing new stuff in the Mandalorian, and I probably should get back into that and watch it a little bit because it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting in that whole world they've created. So, I'm just glad to have you back. Glad to have you back and excited about stuff. So,
Yeah.
speaking of being excited about stuff, I'm excited about the game tomorrow.
Oh, definitely.
Miami and Buffalo. And from what you're telling me, Jordan Poyer being out is a good thing. So,
Oh, my opinion, just I've seen every Bills game in my entire life. So, yeah, Poyer, he's a warrior. He's been a great Bill. Love him. He's just his time has come. He's slow. He's beat up. He's given his all to the Buffalo Bills. But if you look at the big runs that the Bills have given up, because that's all they give up. And you look at the few big plays, the Poyer's angle is bad and he's slow to react. So the one big pass in the the Commander game last week, he was slow to get over. It was cover two, and his angles he's slowed down. He's off the step. So I mean, DeMar could keep up, and when DeMar got hurt, he was playing really well last year. Because he was playing for Poyer. Poyer and Hyde were both out. And I think DeMar can keep up. And sure, he's going to get beat. He's going to get burned. But he had an amazing preseason. He's probably the best Buffalo Bill in preseason. He was flying. DeMar was flying. I mean, that's the Chicago Bears about DeMar. He cleaned Justin Fields' clock the whole first half of that game. So DeMar was flying, and he looked good, and his coverage is good. And I'm sure he's going to get beat. So I actually think that'll probably prevent a touchdown, just because Poyer is going to take a bad angle. Waddle and Hill are going to blow by him. So I think that actually is beneficial.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell me your overall arch on what you think is going to happen tomorrow, because I'll tell you mine.
I mean, how I look at things, I'm a big believer in like analytics, and numbers don't lie and numbers tell the story. So yeah, Miami put up 70 points. Good for them. God bless. And they didn't try to rub it in. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Stop playing? I mean, the backups get in the game and they're playing the damn near almost half the freaking game. They want to play. They want their numbers. They got incentives. They got things to do. So a lot of people are, Dolphins scored 70. They could have scored 100, score 100, play better, try harder. I've never worried about that. You do your thing. There's running up the score. Right, when the scores run. They didn't run up the score on Denver. They just play football. They tried not to
they were running the ball.
Right, exactly. Denver, show up. Try harder, play better, be better. Quit whining, quit bitching, get out there and freaking play, because Miami wasn't trying to run the score. I mean, they
couldn't stop anything. They couldn't stop a thing.
And so I think if you look at the numbers, I think our point differential is the same. So it should be a pretty even game. And I think DeMar is going to have, obviously they're going to announce him as a starter. The place is going to go crazy. They're going to feed off that for a quarter. No different than when Hines took the kickback after the DeMar game last year for the touchdown. And the Bills are killing the game for half, and then that wears off, and now you're in a dogfight. So I think the Bills will have an early advantage in the game, and then I think it'll be a bit of a dogfight. And McDermott knows defense. You'd be shocked. I mean, that guy did. Holy cow! What a difference between him and Leslie Frazier. Same pieces and parts, but that defense is aggressive, and Tua's getting rid of the ball in a second. We're not blitzing. We don't blitz. Our front four is just bringing it. And we can rotate 7-8 guys in there, and we're not blitzing. So I think that'll slow the passing game down. So I think it's gonna be a very close game. Toss up, really. I can't really make a prediction because I think the numbers are so similar between the teams, and I think it could go either way. And if the Bills lose, it doesn't really shake me, because we know the Bills and the Dolphins are gonna be the two teams at the end. And I'd rather almost see the Bills build. I think the last 3-4 years they've come out of the gate so fast, and they've had kind of by the play. I'd rather see them build up, peak hit the playoff time. So we'll see what happens. How do you think? What do you think's
Yeah.
gonna happen?
Well, to quote Mr. T in Rocky 3, my prediction, pain. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, good.
No, my prediction is pretty much the same as yours. Really, it's going to be an emotional game for Buffalo with DeMar. And now, have they officially activated him yet?
Yeah, he's been active. He's just been
Okay.
not making the game day.
Okay. So he's been a healthy scratch or
Mhm.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a big deal for the crowd and for the team too. I'm sure. It wouldn't surprise me one way or the other, really. The way that both teams are playing, the defense for the Bills. Granted, they played the Raiders, the Commanders, and the Jets, so they haven't been tested really yet by a big offense. And I'm interested to see what they're going to do to counter what Miami's doing on offense. I think it's going to be a very high scoring game. Honestly, I think that both teams are going to pretty much be able to do whatever they want on offense for the most part. Worried to death that I'm hoping they can still keep Tua protected. So far this season he's barely been touched. Knock on wood. But I think you're in for a high scoring game. I think it's going to come down to the fourth quarter. It's a pretty generic analysis on it, but I think it's going to be high scoring. I think Buffalo. I'm not going to make a prediction on who's going to win because it's an evenly matched game at this point, in my opinion. So it could go either way. I'm hoping it goes my way. If it doesn't, like you said, we got the Giants and then the Panthers after this. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping that the one way or the other, no matter what happens, we can build on it and kind of just come out of the game healthy, hopefully with a W. So we'll see.
Buffalo's schedule's soft too after the game. They go to
Yeah.
play in England, and then it's pretty soft. I don't care who they play. If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. So I've never really worried about the schedule and who's on it. And the Bills have won a ton of games in the last 5-6 years. So
they sure have.
Well, I'm not worried about who they play.
Let's hope for a good, clean game and a injury-free game would be nice too for both teams, really.
Yeah, it would be good for the NFL too. That the Bills and the Dolphins get after it and put on a show. And honestly, the season it's been pretty dreadful, to be honest with you. There really hasn't been a lot to point to in the NFL. It's been very exciting. So
yeah, that's true. There are definitely the haves and the have-nots in the NFL, even with the salary cap. And it's just because it's such a quarterback-driven league. You can have the best team on paper. 52 out of the 53 men, but if your quarterback sucks, you're kind of out. And that's how the NFL is really nowadays. And I think, the rule changes have obviously had a lot to do with that. Sorry about this.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
The rule changes have had a lot to do with that, I think, over the years. But, the quarterback dictates your team's success in the NFL. And it's unfortunate it's that way, but when you've got a quarterback that's not playing well, your team's not playing well. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Like I said, I'm hoping for a good game. I think it's going to be a great game. The hype is through the roof for a Week 4 game. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, it is.
And we'll see what happens. But we're on track to go to January 7th game.
Yep.
Which is Week 17 could be for all the marbles. So we'll see what happens.
It should be. I would anticipate that we'll have a similar record. I don't think there's going to be a lot of differential between either of us all year. 3-4. Somebody, we're going to lose 3-4 games, maybe. Same thing. It's just going to happen. I don't see, Miami's going to go undefeated. No, somebody's going to get them. It happens. I thought the Buffalo would go undefeated last year. They lost 3 games by 7 points. So, it happens. It's the NFL. Nobody's going to go undefeated, but, they'll be close.
You got anybody you want to give a shout out to this week at all?
Shout out to just everybody, the family. My family's been, they're great, awesome, support me. I can't thank them enough. Everybody's Mrs. Ford made a point that we're all doing things in our educational field. It's amazing. Harley, who bounced on here, is helping us out. She just got a gig with Lake Wells Police Department. Being a crime scene tech. That's pretty amazing. When you're a kid, you spend all that time together on the road, and she's my right seat and doing property preservation, about the soccer team and this, that, and the other thing. You spend all that time, and I think Silence of the Lambs is our favorite movie. We've seen that thing together 100 times, and then to see your kid out there doing it, it's you know what I mean. It's pretty cool, and it's just a testament to the
Yeah,
support
that is
of,
cool.
and Mrs. Ford's going to be a doctor, and Dane's up there, rocket science, and Shasta. I think she's in Atlanta,
Yeah.
Charlotte. So I gave you bad intel the other day. She's doing a game, I think, up in Charlotte. So how dreadful is that, right? She gets to go on the road and cover the Charlotte. Wow, congrats. She wasn't real happy about that one, I don't think. But yeah, so it's great. We couldn't do what we do without them, and so I really, really appreciate them. And as far as sales, and then I haven't really been doing much or buying, or just so that's it. So for me, it's just underneath the roof this week. God bless them all.
Right. Well, that's good sentiments, and it sounds like you got a pretty successful family. And I want to also send a shout out to my family, to my wife, and to my daughter, down at UCF, master's degree program, biochemistry, fully funded. So she's down there getting it done, and can't thank them enough for doing what they do and supporting me as well. And I've been doing some sales, and I it's the same. It's fun. It's pretty successful, so I can't complain. And I just want to thank everybody that participates in those and gives me positive feedback, and seems to enjoy what I'm doing. So other than that, I think this has been great. We talked about a bunch of different stuff, and it's good to get back on the bicycle, man.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Absolutely. So yeah, just everybody go have a good weekend, and we'll
recap the Bills game and Dolphins next week. We'll let you know about how I'm sure, because me and Greg will be texting back and forth. So we'll let you give you a peek behind the curtain on how that went, our interaction with the Bills and the Dolphins, being that we are so close.
Absolutely.
But we cheer for different teams, so that'll be next week. And everybody have a great week. Thank you so much, and everybody stay positive and be the best you can. Thank you.
Thanks, you guys.